New updates to the Freedom Convoy lawsuit and Pierre Poilievre agreeing with the truckers. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. If you were here on the channel last week, we talked a lot about the Freedom Convoy and the Freedom Convoy lawsuit that is now dropping. And I had reported that this was a lawsuit on the federal government. And it appears that some of those claims may have been skewed, and I want to get into that. But also, it's good to see now that through a past interview over the weekend or later in last week, I should say, Pierre Poilievre coming out in full support of the truckers suing the federal government. This is surprising. Now, Pierre has been one who has sparked my curiosity throughout the Freedom Convoy movement, because before the convoy arrived in Ottawa, we saw Pierre on overpasses. We saw him with food for truckers and chatting with truckers before they descended upon Ottawa, we'll say. And we even seen Pierre addressed outside of the House of Commons, saying that he supported rightful protest and the right to protest so long as it was done in a legal manner. But then when it came time to evacuate the truckers and speak on behalf of the truckers, there was a little bit of silence. Now, call that what you will, but I've always been on the fence as to where does Pierre stand on this issue. Now, this isn't scrutiny. It's just a matter of wondering why all the back and forth, or why the silence and then encouragement. Now, I do believe in my heart of hearts that Pierre was on the side of the truckers and still is. We heard his wife's address during one of his speeches that they do stand behind the truckers, that they have always stood behind the truckers. But as this lawsuit has been announced, Pierre coming out once again to state his opinion on what's now going on with the federal government. Let's take a listen.
The Freedom Convoy 2 years ago are suing the federal government now that the federal court has found the Emergency Act to be unconstitutional. What recourse do you think should be available to people who had their bank accounts frozen or otherwise had their constitutional rights infringed by the government?
Well, the court should decide that, and I hope the Charter of Rights is upheld. Justin Trudeau divided the country. He provoked the crisis. He's now been found to have violated the Constitution. He did it without any scientific evidence. It was another example of how Justin Trudeau has only two principles. One is that the government should control everybody, and two, that he should control the government. The only way he keeps this control, in light of the misery that he has unleashed, doubling housing costs, quadrupling carbon taxes, is by cracking down on the population and dividing people against each other. I will do the exact opposite. I will empower the people from the bottom up. I will unite for freedom rather than dividing to conquer. Thank you.
So again, Pierre's statement coming out to basically say, I hope the Charter of Rights is upheld, meaning that the truckers had every right to be there. Because again, we know from the Freedom Convoy protests, they did nothing wrong. There was no violence. There was no destruction of property. There was no threats. There was nothing to constitute the Emergencies Act coming forward. In fact, again, a federal judge ruling that the Emergencies Act was illegal on the federal government, which is what the cause of this court case is. But also Keean Bexte coming forward to report here on Valentine's this week. Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland are being personally sued for illegally freezing bank accounts when they wrongfully invoked the Emergencies Act. Now, this is again where I'm looking for... I've been digging and digging and digging, and there's stories on both sides. One of it says the federal government. Another one says that this is them being sued personally. So again, I'll do an update video. I am reaching out to Keith Wilson. I'll be reaching out to Tamara, as well as a few other people, and see if I can get some form of clarification. You got to understand, because of Tamara's position, I'll more than likely go through legal channels, just because of what they are or are not allowed to discuss at this time. But I will get confirmation on whether it is Justin Trudeau individually as a person and Chrystia Freeland individually as a person, or if in fact this is the federal government that is being sued, because that makes a huge difference as to whether this claim and this money is coming out of taxpayer funds, should they have to pay the reparations to the truckers, or whether it's coming out of their bank accounts. Now, I would love nothing more than to see this money come out of Justin Trudeau's and Chrystia Freeland's bank accounts. I think Chrystia Freeland would have to cancel a lot more than Disney Plus if the courts were to rule in favor of the, I believe it's up to 18 or so truckers that are now demanding $2 million each in reparations for what took place following the Emergencies Act and its illegal use. Not to mention Tamara Leach's time in solitary confinement and misuse of the government's legal system. I think she's due a lot more than $2 million. And we'll wait and see what comes out of that. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Is it good to see Pierre on this angle? I think it is. I think it's finally good to see Pierre speaking his mind. I've noticed this in the last few weeks that he's come out a lot more forward. And I've said before, I think that the reason he's speaking up more, the reason he's not being as careful as he used to be, is because he's in campaign mode. I think that Jugmeat is in campaign mode when he talks about his threats to depart from the Liberal coalition as of March 1st if an agreement isn't met. We've seen Justin Trudeau making a lot of appearances lately. I think the writing is on the wall that we are going to see a spring election, more so than last year's predictions of a fall election. But I won't count it in until it's there. I'm just saying that, you know, the chips are starting to land where they may. Again, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your comments down below what you guys think. And, well, we'll see amongst you guys what the consensus is. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button to click the bell for notifications. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Justin Trudeau does not want this information getting out there, and it helps us in the algorithm every time you like the video, every time you comment. And while you're at it, join us live here on the channel every Friday for Friday Night Fringe, where we go over a little bit of what's happened this week and a little bit of what may be happening next week and a little bit of back and forth with the community. I look forward to seeing you all there, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.